Hey there, my name is Ray, and one thing I noticed as I was going through a lot of the different Studio One videos is that there's a lot of great information that I've definitely taken a lot from over the last few years. And there's one thing that I was looking for a little bit more but didn't find as much, was along the lines of hard rock and metal. Different videos on, how to use PreSonus in kind of a studio setting to create kind of the heavier side of rock and stuff. So talking with a few buddies and kind of some different forums and stuff, we were thinking about putting together a couple of videos to help both members from different forums and stuff like that, as well as anybody else who might benefit from some of the videos on how to create, kind of building those heavier tracks and putting together music and different types of VSTs and stuff that you can include with Studio One to build your metal tracks. And so next few videos are going to be basically that, kind of what works for me and what I've learned along the process. And again, there's some great stuff out there. The guys from PreSonus, Studio One, and a lot of other people have made some very good stuff that I've learned a lot from. And so what I want to do is just put a few videos out there for maybe people that are kind of looking for some of that specific metal know-how. So this is what works for me. Definitely there's a million different ways to look at it, but I'll try to show what works best for me. So that's about it. I use Studio One. I think the most recent update was 3.5, I believe it is, with the Fat Channel edition. I'll be using some other tools as well to kind of compare from Slate and Universal Audio and stuff like that. Different types of cabs, different types of guitars, and all sorts of different stuff. So hopefully it'll help. Let me know if there's anything in addition you want to see. We'll use all sorts of different types of guitars, mics, cabs, Marshall, Mesa, Orange, ENGL, different types of things to just kind of see what works best and what kind of works for me. I'll include some of the tracks that I've done as a kind of a example, I guess, and then kind of build some of the tracks up and show you kind of what I've done for metal and what I've learned along the way from working with other people that have been doing it for a lot longer than I have. So again, that's about it. I hope this is helpful, and if there's anything you want to see or if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be sure to include it in the next one. Thanks. Once I get kind of that initial drum groove down, and for everybody it's different. Everybody has kind of this different approach. Some people like to lay drums. They gotta have it all figured out, and they do the bass and they do guitar. I'm not that smart. I literally have to kind of do it in parts, and so a lot of times what I do to find how I want the song to arrange is I'll use my video recorder. I'll use my 360 or Electro Harmonics, whatever it's called, to record tracks and stuff. And I use my Roland kit a lot of times to kind of, and I run it through Studio One, which is actually very cool because it triggers the different drums in Easy Drummer or Superior Drummer, so I can get the sound I want out of Studio One, which is very cool. I have a lot of it out of Easy Drummer and Superior Drummer, which runs through Studio One, which is a very cool. So once I have a basic guitar idea, some riffs, and how I'd like maybe the verse and chorus to sound, I'll then go into Studio One here and either do one of two things. Either use my Roland electric drum set and download Trigger the Tracks in Easy Drummer 2 to trigger the tracks, of course, in Studio One, or I'll start playing with Easy Drummer and start building some different drum tracks, and really with the end goal to have a different set of how I want the drums to sound for the song. And so I'll arrange them, move things around, and then I will, as you can see here, I'll create a guitar track and play to that drum track and really kind of find how the arrangement should look. Do I need to move things around in my verse, chorus, extend? Do I need to modify the drums? And really kind of just really find that balance between how the drums fit with the guitar. And I'll create several guitar tracks with different amps, different cabs, different mics to really kind of find what that balance is. So that's really my first step, is create that drum track and really test it out with the drums and with the guitars and really find where it needs to be. basically using the Gibson Explorer, running through my Marshall 4x12 with vintage 30s, using the Mesa mini rectifier. If you guys haven't tried the mini rectifier, give it a try. It's actually really cool. I've got a dual rectifier, and this thing just is awesome. Just really cool sounds. Plus, I don't have to shake the entire building down trying to get tones I want. So, very cool. Running through, as I said, SM57 into my PreSonus. Actually, no effects on this one. Actually, a little bit of reverb. Don't know if you can hear that. So I haven't adjusted the volume yet. I'll bump it up to 25 watts right now. Just kind of finding the mic placement. I'll adjust to volume. I will put the mic, I go a little off center, just a tad, so it's not as bright. Back it up just a little bit, and I keep tweaking that. If you guys haven't got some of these yet, there's all sorts of different kinds you can use. I like the Sennheisers. These are the HD 280 Pros. I think they were probably close to $100 or something like that. Really good sound. They've got a good range across the board. Pop those bad boys on. Again, Gibson Explorer, running through the Mesa 25 watt rectifier into vintage 30s. And then again, at this point right now, I found my drum track, kind of how I want the flow to go, and we'll play along to that and kind of start finding where my groove is. So at this point now, you can see that I've got my drum track created, and I've got some initial guitar tracks created here. Now again, at this point, I'm really playing around with my guitar arrangement. My drum arrangement. Do I like how long the verse goes, how long the chorus goes? And I'm still playing around with my guitar tracks. Remember, I'm creating several different guitar tracks here to really kind of test mic placement. How does this amp sound? How does this cab sound? Do I use any effects, with any kind of pedals or anything into the mix? And really getting a feel for how everything is going to come together. I'm constantly tweaking and adjusting and deleting tracks if I just don't think they're going to sound very good. So just kind of keep playing with it. And remember, I haven't really created that gold guitar track yet, as I called it. The ones where I'm thinking, okay, that's the way it is. That's the arrangement. That's the intro. That's the verse. That's the riff. That's the chorus. That's everything laid out the way I want. So I'm still kind of drafting it, as you will. If you will. And then also don't use any processing yet. I'd say save your CPU and keep everything kind of in a raw track at this point. Not pulling in any effects, reverbs, or anything like that. Keep it all pretty much straightforward, just raw tracks at this point. In later videos, we'll talk about editing, talk about using different types of effects, talking about editing your tracks more and really making your tracks as robust, as they call it, as you will. In the next video, we'll talk about different ways to capture the guitars, dual guitars, quad guitars, however you want the sound, how full you want it to sound, panning left and right, different ways you can, track your guitars to give them a different kind of full sound, how you can add different parts of the guitar. We'll talk about leads, kind of different amps that I like, some things that I found between Marshall, Mesa, Orange, ENGL, Fender that I think that are really good with leads. Do you use effects, don't effects, how much gain to use? We'll talk about a lot of that, and I'll do some tests to show you that you can really oversaturate your mix if you're not careful. And we'll also talk about capturing bass. So again, my name's Ray. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you want to see or know, let me know, and I'll add them in the next one. So thanks a lot for watching.